This is the 49ers Report. I am Cam Rogers. Let's go through the latest 49ers rumors here and talk about Matt Breida. Could we see a larger role for him this regular season? 3 jet heads on this one. Feeling pretty good about it. So yes, Joe Williams had that 65-yard touchdown run a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of training camp, and it generated buzz, but it was without pads. Now, Matt Breida, meanwhile, is generating buzz during these padded practices, and ESPN is projecting that he'll see a larger role in the run game this season. Now, Breida is bigger and stronger than last year without necessarily, shall we say, sacrificing any speed out there, which is a good thing. It's a win-win type of situation. So as you take a look at my projected running back depth chart here, McKinnon, of course, is the top line guy. I got Breida at number 2, Mostert at 3. Now, you guys know that I think San Francisco only keeps 3 running backs on the roster, which means Joe Williams is the odd man out. Jeremy McNichols as well. So that's kind of how I see things shaking out in the running back department, but of course things can change. We shall see. All right, let's talk about rumor number 2 here. Could we see a renewed rivalry between the 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams? 3 jet heads on this one, also faithful in this. Now, GM John Lynch recently talked about how excited he is for the 2 games, at least, against the Los Angeles Rams this season. A team that should be a legit Super Bowl 53 contender, ladies and gentlemen. They had a fantastic offseason, bringing in some big-time pieces. Meanwhile, Jed York also said when you look at the Rams and the 49ers, they both have good up-and-coming young quarterbacks, smart offensive-minded head coaches, and that's kind of what the West Coast is all about. Now, the 49ers are going to have their hands full against this Rams team, headlined by Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib and Aaron Donald, of course, and Ndamukong Suh as well in town now. So I think the Rams are going to be a really legit option, a real good measuring stick for the 49ers this regular season. If they can take down LA and perhaps even sweep them, well, that'll spell good things for the regular season and hopefully into the postseason for San Francisco. All right, next up on the list, Tarvarius Moore, the most intriguing prospect out there for the 49ers. Firmly in the rumor category here, this coming from Bleacher Report. So he kind of provides that Jimmy Ward type of versatility, but with more upside. Now, if Richard Sherman doesn't pan out after that Achilles injury or something like that, you have Tarvarius Moore to cement into the secondary and maybe play alongside Ahkello Witherspoon by the time the year is over. I'm just kind of bringing a certain perspective here if, for some reason, Richard Sherman does not pan out. I don't think that is the reality of the situation, but it certainly is worth monitoring here. Now, in terms of the cornerback depth chart, Sherman, of course, is the top guy. Witherspoon at 2. K'Wan Williams is your slot guy. Jimmy Ward can play corner outside, can play corner at slot, of course, can do safety as well, and I got Powell there on the list too. Tarvarius Moore still has to fight through a little bit of a bottleneck in terms of the cornerback depth chart to actually make the 53-man roster, but I think he does indeed make the team because of his versatility, and of course, he was highly touted coming out of college as well. All right, let's go to rumor number 4 on the list. Is Dante Pettis in for a big season? 3 jet heads on this rumor as well. You want to talk about generating buzz so far in training camp. Dante Pettis has been performing really well so far. There's a lot of chatter that he is in for a big-time season. He's playing well on one-on-one drills, 11-on-11 drills, burning Ahkello Witherspoon a couple times as well. I think Pettis is going to challenge Trent Taylor big time for some serious playing time in the slot. Now, Taylor was recently activated off the PUP list, and in a way, he's kind of behind the 8 ball now because Taylor is now just getting into the swing of things. Meanwhile, Pettis has just been generating buzz news item after buzz news item out there with all the local media saying, wow, this kid is legit. And I certainly do believe that. All right, let's check out rumor number 5 here. Richie James to be the next Antonio Brown. One jet head on this one. I mean, when you're talking about a 7th-round selection becoming the next Antonio Brown, you can't give it any more than one jet head. Now, where is this coming from? So Pro Football Focus put out a really interesting tweet recently comparing the stats of James and Brown respectively. Now, as Pro Football Focus put it, 2016 Richie James had the single best season among wide receivers in this year's class. As you see the stat line on your screen, 105 receptions, over 1,600 yards, and 16 total touchdowns. James, of course, coming from a small school, Middle Tennessee State. Same could be said for Antonio Brown, also from a smaller school, Central Michigan University. In 2009, Brown had 110 receptions, just a shade under 1,200 yards, and 12 total touchdowns. So, not saying correlation proves causation in terms of these two stat lines being very similar, but Richie James, he should be an interesting prospect to kind of follow throughout training camp because he's a spark plug, he's an exciting player, but he's got an uphill climb to make the 53-man roster. Rumor number 6 here, Jimmy Garoppolo taking advice from Johnny Manziel. Well, we don't know for sure. Two Jetheads here. Now, Johnny Manziel is at least dishing it out. Now, he was recently on his Comeback Season, SZN, podcast, basically talking about the whole Jimmy Garoppolo going out with a porn star thing. And you guys all know, and I'm sure you have commented on it before, that Garoppolo went out with a porn star and everybody kind of went at him or went at the people that were going at him. So there were some people that were saying that, no, it's not a big deal. Other people were like, well, you are the franchise quarterback of the 49ers. You need to focus on playing quarterback and not going out with porn stars. I personally do not care. But Johnny Manziel had to deal with a couple of, shall we say, PR nightmares in his own right. So if there's anybody out there to dish out advice, I guess Manziel would qualify. He built up his reputation big time, and now he's playing in the CFL as a starting quarterback, by the way. So we'll see if Jimmy G listens to Manziel's advice. But, by the way, Garoppolo not even close on the level that Johnny Manziel was a couple of years ago. So that I want to get out there right here, right now. All right, folks, we'll get to the next rumor on the list about the offensive line, but first, a word from our friends at Game Time.
Did you know that ticket prices can actually go down right before the game? That's where Game Time comes in. Game Time tracks ticket prices in real time from thousands of trusted sellers, then shows you all the best deals. So we can get tickets at the last minute for up to 60% off. Download Game Time now.
Okay, let's talk about the offensive line here. Mike Person to start at right guard. One Jedhead here. I don't think it's actually going to happen, but as you see Josh Garnett here on your screen, he has been at the center of so many negative headlines recently, and I'll talk more about it during my training camp notes here. But Garnett has missed the last 3 practices. Jonathan Cooper just got off the PUP list, and that begs the question, who the heck is going to start at right guard? Because if Jonathan Cooper has to basically get acclimated again, and Garnett is not impressing, well, maybe Mike Person could steal that slot. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I want you guys to keep that in mind here as we go throughout the coming weeks and the coming days about how this offensive line really shakes out. Now, I'm still sticking with Jonathan Cooper winning the starting job at right guard. Obviously, Staley is your left tackle, Tomlinson at left guard, Richburg at center, Mike Buglinchi at right tackle, and then Cooper wins that spot over Garnett. And I think Cooper is in good health, in good spirits. I think he'll be fine as we go throughout 11-on-11 drills and one-on-one drills, etc. Cooper's going to be the guy. He got paid for a reason. He will be starting at right guard. So Mike Person, he's a good depth option. He's got good versatility, but I don't think he'll be a starter unless injuries happen, of course. All right, let's go to rumor number 8 on the list. Could we see a breakout season from Marquise Goodwin? We continue to hear the praise out there from all of the talking heads and pundits. So I personally do believe that he will have a big-time year in 2018. That's why I'm giving it 3 Jedheads. In 5 games last year with Garoppolo, he had 29 receptions for 384 yards. So that translates, if you extrapolate, if you will, to 1,229 yards over a 16-game season. Goodwin owns the 5th fastest 40-yard dash time in the history of the NFL Combine, 4.27. His solid season last year translated to a 3-year extension worth $18.85 million. Now, as Adrian Colbert, safety for the 49ers, once said, I mean, Tyreek Hill is fast, but Marquise is fast. So Goodwin, I think, will be an integral part to this offense here with Jimmy Garoppolo and Jerick McKinnon and Pierre Garçon. I like to think of it like this. Of course, Garoppolo, your quarterback. McKinnon, your threat out of the backfield in the run game, but also in the passing game. You got Goodwin, the sure hands. Kittle, the red zone target. Or, excuse me, Garcon is the sure hands. And Kittle is the red zone target. And then you got Goodwin down the line, that vertical threat. So I like the way the offense is shaking out there. All right, let's talk about the national anthem here. Could 49ers players kneel during the anthem this season? Two Jetheads on this one, firmly in the rumor category. Now, where is this coming from? Well, during an interview with USA Today, Richard Sherman was asked about the national anthem policy put in place recently by Jerry Jones in regards to the Dallas Cowboys, where he expects the Cowboys to stand during the national anthem. That is the team policy. Now, Sherman clapped back recently and said, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, with the old plantation mentality, what did you expect? Now, the NFL and NFLPA are still negotiating an official policy in terms of the national anthem. It is currently on hold. Now, we have a football game tonight, by the way, and the Chicago Bears and Baltimore Ravens begs the question, who's going to kneel? Who's going to stand? Who's going to stay in the locker room? What side are you on? Type S for stand, type K for kneel. I want to hear what you guys have to say about the national anthem debate. What side are you on? Or maybe you're right down the middle and you just don't care. Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts here on the program. But as we stand, no official national anthem policy just yet. But I'm sure at some point we will get one. So stay tuned for that.